Welcome to this special edition of World Business. Well, as the economy shifts towards cleaner technologies and regional self-reliance, gold is taking on a new role. No longer just a safe haven, but a driver of industrial innovation and sustainable growth. Nowhere is this reinvention more visible than in Uzbekistan, where mineral-rich landscapes are giving rise to cutting-edge mining strategies and international collaboration. And one company is leading that charge, KK Gold Group. Well, from geological exploration and processing to environmental protection and even fertiliser supply, their work reflects a broader transformation in how natural resources are handled, from extraction to ecosystem impact. Well, joining us in the studio is Zulfiya Dzhapakova, Director of KK Gold Group, and we're going to explore now how this Tashkent-based enterprise is turning raw potential into long-term value. Thank you so much, Zulfiya, for joining us on World Business, and welcome from Uzbekistan here to our studio.
Nice to meet you, Guy.
KK Gold, then, it operates across mining, processing, environmental solutions, a broad area. How would you describe the focus, though, of the company today?
Guy, you're absolutely right that we are indeed involved in the mining industry, and of course our main strategy and focus is to ensure responsible gold extraction. In other words, we would say that environmentally friendly gold mining is our core direction.
And obviously you're based in Uzbekistan. What is it about Uzbekistan that really makes it such an ideal place for your company to be based and really helps you drive that growth?
Again, that's an absolutely valid question. You're quite right. Uzbekistan is becoming a major player in the global gold market. In addition to its natural conditions for extraction, Uzbekistan is also creating excellent conditions for entrepreneurs to operate. That's why we chose to work in gold mining in Uzbekistan. The government has put forward many interesting proposals.
And you've also got an office here in Azerbaijan. Tell us about that and how that helps with your regional strategy.
Why do we also have an office in Azerbaijan? Because Azerbaijan also has excellent specialists with whom we jointly produce mining equipment and supply it to Uzbekistan. I'd also like to add something to the earlier question about Uzbekistan. We've launched a new company there called Bay Gold. Together with our Azerbaijani and Uzbek partners, we also produce diamond jewelry. That's another point worth mentioning.
Выпускаем также и бриллиантовые изделия. Вот есть такой вопрос еще.
And geological exploration is a major part of what your company does. A fascinating area, one that technology is improving all the time. How are new tools and technologies, though, improving your ability to identify and develop these sites?
Yes, indeed. Our company is also involved in geological exploration. We certainly strive to use the latest technologies in this field, but we are also proud of our specialists. The key experts we brought from Azerbaijan to Uzbekistan can, so to speak, look at a mountain and already tell what's inside it.
Уже, как можно сказать, смотря на гору, видят, что в ней есть.
And one of the other things that you process are man-made ores. Could you explain a bit about what that process involves and how that fits into the wider gold production landscape?
Значит, опять-таки, совершенно вопрос, можно сказать, в яблочко.
Again, that's a spot-on question. We are engaged in processing technogenic ore, and we see great potential in this area. The waste left over from gold extraction during the Soviet era still offers opportunities for further ore recovery. For us, this is a very interesting and promising line of work.
Для нас это очень интересная перспективная работа.
Of course, all businesses now are focused on environmental responsibility. Can you tell us how KK Gold is dealing with sustainability, how that is built into your future strategy?
Вот изначально наша компания была построена.
From the outset, our company was built on a business model centered around environmentally friendly operations. We rely on proper extraction methods using physical processes, specifically gravity-based methods that do not involve chemicals. That's the path we intend to follow to the end, and it forms the core of our business model.
You also, your company also supplies fertiliser. It's a very interesting area. Agri-tech is an incredibly fascinating area that's seen a huge amount of growth. How is KK Gold building a connection between that? How does that fit into the other mining activities?
Perhaps it's simply an interest in the environmental state of nature. After all, we are keen to ensure that agriculture and gold mining, although seemingly different fields, can coexist. We became very interested in the issue of mineral fertilizers, which is why we got involved in that area and haven't stopped since, as the system is already in place. That's why we're also very interested in supporting agriculture.
And of course, one of the things about being an international company, growing internationally, is dealing with the different rules, regulation, compliance that each territory has. Tell us a bit about that challenge and how you deal with the technical realities of different markets.
Совершенно правильно. Работая в разных странах.
Absolutely right. When working in different countries, of course we want to approach our work correctly, without breaking any laws. That's why we rely on our specialists. Before entering any new market, we thoroughly study the legal framework and make every effort to operate within it.
And of course, we've talked about this incredible impact that this global technology has, but adapting that technology to local markets on the ground, embedding it in processes, obviously not an easy task. Tell us something about that.
Well, for example, when it comes to adapting global technologies while entering the market of any country, we also have to take into account the technologies themselves, the certification processes, and the fact that each country has its own perspective on these technologies. We do our best to adapt to the country's legislation.
And as well as technology, partnerships also have been very important, I know, to your growth story. Not just private sector, but public sector partnerships too. Tell us about those collaborations and the ones that have been perhaps most important to your growth and success.
We work with both the private sector and state organizations. One of the largest organizations, which not only manages its operations effectively, but also knows how to build proper partnerships with private companies, is AGMK, the Almalik Mining and Metallurgical Complex. We work closely with them and have several contracts specifically related to technogenic ore. This includes processing and extracting gold and other precious metals from such ore. We're very proud to have the opportunity to cooperate with them.
С техногенной руды. Мы очень гордимся, что мы имеем с ними возможность сотрудничать.
And finally, it's been a tremendous growth story so far for KK Gold, but where are you going next? Tell us about your future expansion plans for the company.
Очень интересный вопрос.
That's a very interesting and broad question. We're still quite a young company, you could say, but at the same time we already have plans for expansion and a vision to work not only in CIS countries, like Uzbekistan, for example, Kazakhstan and Kyrgyzstan, but also possibly in African countries.
А также, может быть, в странах Африки.
Wow. Well, Zulfiya, we wish you great success with your future expansion. Thank you very much indeed for coming in from Uzbekistan and talking to us here on this World Business Special. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you. Спасибо огромное.
Well, that is all we have time for on this edition. Please do stay in touch with all the latest business news on anews.tv and, of course, across our social media channels. And join me again for more World Business.